Loud. All right, we're on. So we are on session 5
Three.
of
Well, four this time.
four. Four. Uh, Session 4 of the Four Dagger Core Investigations LLC. Uh, who would like to give the recap?
Well, it was later in the night on Zarantar 4, which is a Wednesday for those of you like me who don't know the calendar. It was dark, too dark, and we had to sneak into the fortress-like structure formerly known as Korlak Hall, but now just some dwelling place for these very firefly-like reavers. There was glass on the ground inside from where the glass tower had shattered, and the door fell off its hinges as Joe Farr, like an idiot, was knocking. Uh, in, Inside this one room in Korlak Hall, we found the library where Joe Farr found and then pocketed a pretty fancy book. Given that Joe Farr wanted to knock and or kick his way through doors, we changed up the marching order at that point, and went to a room where we heard some reavers were hiding, but decided that since there didn't seem to be anything in the room that was of interest to us, we would just leave, and whoever was in the room could stay there. The next room, unfortunately for us, Joe Farr got ahead of us. So he did like a flying kick to the door, knocking it down, revealing giant rats the size of gnomes, one of which immediately all like went in for the kill on Joe Farr, jumping up to bite him in the face, leaving him blinded, and thus Ratman was born. This is the origin story of how Joe Farr became known as Ratman.
Profile's origin story.
After we dispatched the rats, I found a fancy wooden box with a silver lock, but we weren't able to open it, and I didn't want to just smash it for fear that whatever's inside might be delicate. Beyond that, on the other side, we found there was another door. We went out into another hallway where we encountered yet another rat room, but since I had opened the door on this one, I simply closed it again. Rats apparently not so good at getting through doors unless you break the door off its hinges, like we did the first time. The end of the hall was especially covered with glass from the glass tower, so much so that you had to be very careful in walking on it. That almost killed Joe Farr, who was still suffering from his many rat bites. And then we moved forward with Joe staying behind, watching our flank over the glass. The first room we came to, walking over the top of the glass, we heard some creepy sounding voice singing a lullaby or a nursery rhyme. I forget which it was. But we decided the empty, dark room with somebody singing a nursery rhyme, we noped the fuck out of there and went to a room across the hall that appeared to be an ancient laundry. The room where somebody was singing a lullaby was like servants' quarters back when the tower was intact. But we found a feather token in the laundry, which Silhana gave to Sharp. Then we went to the end of the hallway, walking over the glass again, where we leapt through a window in what appeared to be an upside down section of the former tower. Inside there, essentially on what used to be the floor but is now the ceiling, we found cages. And it wasn't initially clear why there were cages bolted up there, but it turned out it was just a sign that this used to be a place where the House Vidalis, the animal training house, formerly had these cages, probably once filled with animals.
Link dogs, to be exact.
Right. Well, it was whatever it was. It was something that they didn't want teleporting out. I was able to determine that much, and so I suggested it could be blink dogs for the delicious blink dog meat that House Vidalis was raising. We made our way down a hallway and eventually came to a bedroom, although the door to the bedroom was very high up off the floor. So we had to send Silhana leaping up, or Was it Silhana who went through the door? Or
Yep.
am I misremembering?
I went through
Yeah.
everything.
So Silhana leapt up to this very high door near the ceiling, and beyond that found a destroyed bedroom. So we all managed to make our way into the bedroom, where we found a chest with a dragon shard lock, but no key to it. So we wound up searching the closet once again, with Silhana leaping up to get into the closet. She did manage to find the key. So we opened up the chest and found, in addition to the dragon shard key, there were 2 letters of credit that I'm currently carrying, 50 gold pieces in coins that I'm also carrying, a potion of healing that Joe Farr got, a leather-bound House Vidalis journal bearing their sigil, their seal, that Silhana has, and a dread helm that we gave to Joe Farr to avoid him being blinded by rats in the future. And we decided that we would just, the best plan we have is to stay in the destroyed bedroom and rest, since it didn't necessarily look like anybody had disturbed that room in a while. We were hoping Joe Farr could get back on his feet.
Yeah. So, that brings us to current. And so you guys took a long rest. So it is now the next day, Zaranter 5. The Zor is the name of the day, in case anybody's wondering. And you guys complete your long rest. There's a normal creaking and wind blowing outside, creating strange noises that you would expect in an old place like this. But other than that, you don't hear too much going on. I know Silhana took some time during that long rest, when she had some opportunity for some light activity, to read through the journal a bit. And then as morning is getting closer, an interesting thing.
It's interesting.
Right. So, as you guys are beginning to rouse from your sleep, your bodies are pretty sore from sleeping on the hard stone ground that was once the ceiling of this upturned tower. But as you guys are starting to slowly come to consciousness, Silhana, you hear something coming from the entrance where you guys came from, but it's just barely audible. And of course, it's still dark because the torches were out so that you guys could sleep without drawing attention. And you turn to see what is making the sound in time to see a pair of very tiny hands grasp the edge of the door frame and a tiny figure nimbly pull itself up. So Solana, with your half-elven senses being able to see in the dark, you can clearly see this figure. It's a creature that stands proudly, but its stature couldn't reach more than maybe a foot tall, probably even less than that. And the creature...
The rats. They've come for Joe.
Joe just sitting there like, I knew this day would come.
So Solana, you notice a creature like kind of survey the room, and it almost seems to have a look of approval before turning back and jumping back down into the darkness beyond the door. So at that point, you let everybody know, hey, there's something over there. In response, Sharp, you quickly light a torch, and you guys look upon the doorway. You ready yourselves for anything. As you hear grunts and snarls from beyond the door. The grunts intensify and bring to mind images of some kind of boar-like beast that is working itself into some kind of battle frenzy and before leaping through. And suddenly there's a flash of movement, and you guys flinch in anticipation, but it's only that tiny figure that Solana had seen before. And now Joe Farr and Sharp, you can see it very clearly in the light for the first time. And as you look at it, you guys are more curious or confused than you are concerned, because this tiny figure, it looks like some kind of toy goblin warrior. And as you guys are watching it, it turns its back to you and crouches down, seemingly to help something on the other side of this door. At that point, a much larger but normal-sized goblin hand grabs hold of the ledge, and then another. And with strained effort, a true goblin pulls itself from the door and rolls into the room, falling on the ground on its back with a thud, briefly knocking the wind from its lungs. And once it recovers from the fall, you see the goblin continuing to huff and beads of sweat rolling down his brow, likely from the exertion of trying to pull itself into the room. And then it rolls over, looking at you, huffing and puffing, and it raises its finger in the universal sign of 1 minute. Just a minute. And then it gets to its feet, hunches over on its hands, with its hands on its knees, coughs a few times. It almost seems like it's getting ready to throw up, maybe. Clearly, this goblin has either been running the gauntlet before it got here, or even just the simple act of pulling itself into the room was way more exercise than it's used to. And then that is Brendan.
So you see this. Did that work? I hope it did.
Oh my God.
Was the image up? Yeah? Cool.
Yeah.
We can see it, but it's like a close-up of its head.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, God,
yeah,
it's Bernie Sanders.
Goblin Bernie Sanders.
Yeah. He stands up, standing about 3 foot tall, and he clicks his fingers, lighting the pipe. And he looks at you guys and he says, and then he looks down at his goblin compatriot and he says, "Thank you, Shalarite." Oh, Lorite. Sorry, wrong names. And he looks at you guys and says, "Yes, you're the ones who I've seen. I'm Cass, a Durkala for the Keshvala. I'm looking for an artifact, which you have not seen yet, but you will. I'm here to help until that day comes."
How did you know we were here?
The goblins have granted me the truest sight. And with help of Lorite here, I have tracked you down. This is a very large city. Much bigger. Well, not as big as when the goblins had a city here.
Well, I understand it's a very large city. But in particular, I'm wondering how you tracked us down to the upside-down tower in the middle of the worst possible district of the city.
I know people.
Well, that's even more troubling, that there are people out there who know we're here.
Yes, you were very noisy. It wasn't very hard to find you. There was a banging. I'm guessing it was inside that closet. And I point at the closet.
I sigh openly at that. Well, what artifact is it that you're looking for?
Yes. It is an ancient dragon artifact, but it looks like a cloud, and it becomes whatever you want it to be. So it may look like anything, but also a gray cloud.
So we should have our eyes peeled for anything.
Yes, but you will find it. I've seen it in my visions.
I just want to point out, I said we shouldn't have told or visited Faella, but apparently Faella is just spreading our whereabouts far and wide to anyone who asks.
I have a feeling that's not the only thing she's spreading.
Well, I'm sorry. What did you say your name was?
I am Cass.
Well, listen, Cass, we're not looking for any new partners in our agency right now, but I'm loath to send you out back across the glass with all of the reavers out there. Although, if you avoid the giant rats, and I look at Jofar, you might have some shot of making it out of here again. So, if you want to tag along and look for clouds, I don't necessarily object to that as long as you can pull your own weight.
Yes, I do not plan to be a partner. Maybe more so a supervisor. I am only here for the artifact, and that is all.
Well, as long as your artifact hasn't taken the form of the statue hand that we're looking for, I don't have a problem with that.
It might be. But we won't know until then.
So is the larger goblin staying with you?
Oh, I am the larger goblin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the smaller goblin is Lawright, and he's just like this like miniature goblin warrior kind of thing. And I like yeah, I describe him as my son, essentially.
Can he kick indoors?
Not with as much enthusiasm as I heard.
You know, your son could get killed here. This is not a safe place.
He is a great warrior.
He is all of 11 inches tall.
He is from Takakesh. He is a silent wolf.
Well, I would suggest that you do everything in your power to protect your son if it comes down to a fight.
He can hold his own.
So how old is your son? Because we have a little girl here who's but 5. How old are you again?
I don't even know anymore.
He died when he was 10. And that's when he starts to dissipate.
Creepy. So he is like, was he incorporeal or?
Yeah, he looked solid at first, and then he started. Then, like on further inspection, yeah, he turned incorporeal and yeah, that word, and dissipated. Yeah.
So are you a necromancer of some sort then?
I'm a Durkala. A dirge singer.
I do speak Goblin, so maybe that means something.
Yeah, so that basically translates to dirge singer.
Died when he was 10, you say?
Sorry, say that again.
Said died when he was 10, you say?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's, you're fortunate. Didn't grow up, become a waste of time, disappoint you, put graffiti on walls. You're a lucky one.
He fought well. And yeah, he it looks like he's like drawing like about to draw a tear, and he's like, nah, and then just swipes it away and draws a big whiff from his pipe.
Well, I don't know that we'll need much dirge singing while we're resting here, but feel free to pull up a hunk of broken furniture and try to make yourself comfortable, as we're just going to finish bandaging up our wounds before we continue on.
Watch out for the rats. They go for your eyes. It's not good.
Only if you provoke them, apparently.
They were going for it anyway.
I Us goblins have a way with rats. We should be fine.
I don't know what that means.
Well, if we find another one, you will know.
Dewberry White.
So why is it that you're looking for this artifact, Cloud?
I was sent by Dahakan, which is the capital of Durgan, the goblin capital. We are trying to recover many of the artifacts so we can restore the great goblin empire. That is one of them.
How's that
Great
empire
Cloud.
feel about graffiti?
It depends.
Depends on what.
If it is useful. Like sending messages.
Okay. I'm all for this empire. Sounds good. I'll help you.
Thank you. We
How
plan
long
on
have you-
retaking Brayland, but that is of another day.
How long have you been in Sharn?
I have been here for it seems a few weeks, maybe a few months.
Well, then it's a shame you didn't find us when we weren't in the middle of imminent peril.
I needed to meet some people and help the city goblins. Then I
Well,
found you.
Sharn is not always welcoming, so at least I guess you found a place here. I'm not sure yet if we're going to need to save your life or you're going to need to save ours, so stay close for now. And with that, I'll sit back down on the floor and pull my hat down over my eyes so that I can finish my rest.
So then, Solana,
Yes.
how are you reacting to all of this? You've been fairly quiet in response to Cass's appearance.
Honestly, there's not really a lot for me to say about this. Perfectly. I mean, it's a goblin. Yes. He has a dead son. Yes. He looks good in leather. Yes. So I mean, really.
What also, like, just from that picture, he also has like a flintlock pistol like strapped to his waist, and if you look closely at his scraggly chest hair, you see black veins sort of just scattered, which are coming from like the center of his chest.
Black veins, did you say?
Yeah.
I like chest beard better.
Yeah, you were right the first time
Chest
you
beard.
said chest beard.
Chest beard.
His black chest beard.
Yeah, graying, sorry. But yeah, black veins from his grey chest beard.
I kind of want to know where chest beard is now.
Sharp
All right.
is basically figuring if we meet a ghost and the ghost touches this old goblin, he's just going to crumble to dust.
All right, so
Probably.
Sharp, you're catching a couple more Z's. What are the rest of you doing?
Well, we've had the long rest, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to start working on building the tower of crap we have to get out of here. More stuff we have to move from one side of the room to the other.
So I have one level of exhaustion, right?
All right, you heal one over a long rest. So
Okay.
I believe you had two.
Yep. And I'm trying to figure out where my HP is at.
You'd be at full health
Oh.
after a long rest.
Okay. Got it.
And if you spent any hit dice, you'd recover half your level's worth. So you guys are 3rd level, so you'd recover 1 hit dice.
Okay. Okay.
No.
I'm also guessing you heard of the lullaby singing nearby.
Yeah, that weird sound from the room across in the servants' quarters.
Yes. I helped her move on. You will not be bothered by her.
Oh, that's
You
convenient.
give her a second act.
She could have been a wraith, but I helped calm her.
That definitely wasn't my type.
She was looking for her daughter.
Well, that's good.
So now that Solana's moving debris, which I assume is relatively loud as things get moved about,
Well,
I will realize that I'm probably not going to be able to sleep what with the jibber jabbering of all these people and the sound of work being done. So I'm going to go and help build the pile of debris.
shamed him into action.
Right. So, so you guys are getting everything set up to move into the next room. So it's a door fairly similar to the one that you entered. So it's a bit higher up because the floor is the ceiling and vice versa. But there's a good enough amount of debris that you can basically make a pretty unstable set of, like, not a set of stairs, but like a pile that you can kind of climb up fairly easily. And then with that, you would be able to fairly easily just open the door as normal. So you guys are able to do that at whatever point you're ready to move into it.
Cass, do you pick locks?
No, I do not.
Then I turn away from Cass and I will start clambering up the pile. I mean, my hope is to actually peer over the door frame first, if that is at all possible. Not just leap into the next room, but I assume I have to get high enough to like open the door first.
Right. So the door is actually shut. And this door, possibly because of the nature of this room and because there's been much less traffic through this area, the door is not in as bad a condition as the other doors that you've come across. Though it also might be a factor that this was a tower that was obviously serving the purposes of House Vidalis, and so it might just be made of higher quality materials or even magically reinforced to some degree. So it doesn't have the same degree of rot or weakness that you can see in the other doors that you've encountered here.
So, assuming I can get to the door knob, I would just try it and open it, but look before I jump into the next room in case there are rats.
Do you have the torch with you as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So you open the door a crack, and it is dark within. And so you can maneuver the torch. You can open up the door enough to kind of reach the torch in and kind of look beyond if you wanted to. But just opening the door, there doesn't seem to be any kind of response beyond the door.
Okay, so about assuming like can I see the floor? How far down the floor is?
Yeah, so it's the same distance. These rooms are similarly sized.
So, I mean, I would probably hand the torch back to Joe Farr first before I try this, and then crawl through the door frame and try to like swing down to the floor.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to do that. And what you see beyond it looks like this may have been some kind of alchemical workshop. There's lots of shattered glass, and the glass that somehow survived appear to be the remnants of like beakers and test tubes. You also see what appear to be surgical tools and tables that have restraints built into them. And a lot of this seems to have been pushed aside to line the walls of the room. Everything is largely seems to be broken or corroded. But you do notice something interesting, and that's that there are bones everywhere. And they're scattered amidst the layer of rubbish. And then beyond, on the other side of the room, is an inverted flight of stairs that leads up.
I'm going to wait for everyone else to come through. Once Joe Farr comes in with the torch, I would probably search to see if there's anything useful left in the room. Although I am personally puzzled by the combination sex dungeon alchemy lab right next to a bedroom.
Yeah. Dallas made interesting choices.
I'm actually going to look at the ceiling, well, the floor, which is now the ceiling, and see if there's any markings, because you said everything seemed to be pushed to the walls. Might be
Right,
doing rituals or some shit in here.
Yeah, so it seems like as you're looking around, it does seem like, because unlike the other room where everything seems to be pretty much have smashed into the floor or the ceiling, and seems relatively where it lay, in here it seems like maybe some of these things were pushed aside to make a path to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
And then before I forget, Kurt, go ahead and give me your investigation check.
Taking any of my dice out of the bag. Not good. 6.
Okay. So you don't notice anything other out of the ordinary. Solana, as you're looking at what was the floor, you do see a couple of things that seem to have remained on the ceiling. There's at least one table that seems to have been like bolted into place, that also had straps that are now kind of free hanging and seem to have decayed with time in the 80 years since the tower fell.
I'm glad I didn't go with my initial thought, which was just throw the torch in onto the ground where it could ignite whatever's left.
Just to give you guys kind of a sense of scale, the room that you're in now is probably about about 25 feet by about 15 to 20 feet. This room is kind of shaped funny. As you enter the room, the wall behind you and to your right are straight, but then beyond it kind of seems to curve, and so it probably shares a wall with the tunnel or the curving hallway that you came around to get into the room before.
Okay.
So I got I got the dread helm on. That makes my eyes glow red, right?
Yes.
And I got these nice scars from the rats. So in one hand I got the torch, the other hand I've got my dagger as I slowly scan for any rats. And I look over and our new companion. So, Papa Cass, you need to be careful. These rats come right for your eyes.
Just be calm. They won't attack.
So Jofar, go ahead and give me investigation check. See if you find any rats. And then Brendan, I got a message coming your way.
At disadvantage, right?
And then
Yes.
I reveal my pet rat, which bites your face off.
Investigation 12.
Okay, you don't see any rats, and you are very much relieved.
Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm looking to kill him. Get some revenge.
You will only enrage their whole family. Unless you want a bloody rat massacre.
All right, sent Cass.
So the stairs are inverted, and I realize I maybe pictured it wrong. Do the stairs now, from our perspective, go up or down?
They go. No, good question. They go up into the ceiling. Well,
So
originally the floor, but now the ceiling.
once upon a time they went down.
Yeah.
Yes.
But now they go up and are useless because you can't walk on upside down stairs.
Well, thankfully, so the one good thing is that they're the swirly stairs made of like wrought iron. So you could potentially climb up them. It would be an ordeal, but it's a possibility.
And once you get up the first ring, then you can just walk on them backwards.
So Cass then looks at Jofar and he says, "Wait, there's something scarier than rats. Something's dead here."
It's not your kid, is it? We already know that one.
I just grab and I'm like, "Just go look over there." And I just point in the direction where I feel that dread.
There's a disturbance in the rat.
So I carefully walk over to where he's pointing.
So with that, suddenly there is a flash of movement, and something swipes at Solana. And Solana, you look, and you just barely avoided it, but it looks to be the bleached white jaws of some kind of canine creature. And with that, piles of bones begin to rise from the floor, and you see 3 kind of lupine skeletons rising from the floor and readying to attack. So, everyone give me initiative.
Yeah.
I'm not rolling well tonight.
I forgot how to do math. Here we are. 21.
All right, so we got Solana, because I don't think anyone's going higher than 21. 14, 5. Peter, what'd you get?
15.
Okay. You remember that you rolled that with disadvantage, right?
Oh, hell's bells. Oh, 15 it is.
Oh, nice. All right, so then we got Solana. And then we got... So you said 15?
Yeah.
Peter?
Yep, 15.
So I realize you don't have to tell me and maybe don't want to, Brendan, but is Cass named after the Cass or just random name?
Who's the Cass?
The Cass is the vampire that served Vecna that the Sword of Cass is named after.
Oh shit.
Just nod,
I-
Brendan. Brendan, just nod. Just go. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Shit.
me cash. That's it.
That's me.
How'd you know?
Okay, so Silhana, you're up. Monster is on deck, and then Jofar is in the hole. To set the scene, Silhana, you guys are kind of grouped in the middle. Jofar, you were beginning to go towards the corner, but you didn't get too far before these things arose, and they're kind of on the outer perimeters of the walls. So, Silhana, you have one close to you, and then the other two are kind of triangulated on the other sides of the walls.
Okay, well, one problem at a time. I can get up to this thing easy enough, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
like right next to you.
Oh, in that case, I'm just going to spin around and give it a roundhouse kick to the face.
Okay, give me your roll.
That is a... God damn it. That's a very weird dice. Okay. That is a 16 to hit.
All right, that hits.
Yay. And 7 bludgeoning.
Okay.
Ugh.
So you strike it. What was your attack looking like?
I'm just doing a roundhouse kick to the face of it.
Okay. So you roundhouse kick it in the face, but because of the way that the bones are connected to the spine, it kind of absorbs a lot of the force, gets redirected, and then it comes and looks right back at you. It doesn't seem to have been as effective as you would have expected.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, well. Yeah, I haven't got much more choice in this. I'm gonna kick it again
Okay.
with flurry of blows, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna
Alright.
flurry, I have to. Yep. Gonna aim another blow at it. That is a 15 to hit.
Hits.
Okay, and that's only 5. I'm going to try kicking it down, and I want to knock it prone if I can.
Okay.
For it is a dex saving throw of 12.
It is knocked prone.
Excellent. And then with it on the ground, I'm going to stomp on its little head.
Okay.
Because violence is always the answer.
You have advantage because it's prone.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Oh. And that is a 17 to hit.
Hits.
For another whopping 6 damage. Yay.
All right. So with that second kick, you manage to knock its feet from it with a trip, pulling it forward. And then as it's on the ground, you heel drop it onto its skull. But the skull is pretty resilient. You would have expected it, based on the age of everything around, to have just crushed. But these are not going to go down that easily. So that one is then going to lash back out at you.
Mhm.
Well, actually, yes. So 17 hit.
Yep. That'll hit me.
Ooh. So it oh wait, it's prone, so it has disadvantage.
Yes.
Does a 16 hit you?
Yep, that still hits.
Okay. So from its position, it struggles out from underneath your heel and then bites you right in the Achilles, drawing some pretty bad blood, and it like shakes its head to the side, making it even worse. You take 16 piercing or bludgeoning damage. No, it's piercing damage.
Yeah,
Sorry.
piercing. Oh, shit. Well-
I've rolled max damage.
And if I'm not mistaken, that means it's time for exhaustion rolls, I think.
No,
that's
so
Peter's
are
game.
you do you have any hit points left, or are you down?
I
in
have
the
5 hit
vitality?
points left.
Okay, so you're still good.
Okay.
He was thinking of Peter's exhaustion rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then the monster uses half its movement to stand up from prone, and you get the sense that if it could growl, it would be growling right now, but instead it's kind of grinding its teeth because that's the best sound that it can make. Jofar is up, Cass on deck, another monster in the hole.
I would reach out and tap Jofar on the chest and say, "You're supposed to be watching out for her."
Blood squirts everywhere. Jesus.
Can I get to the one that she's fighting with, or is there one in the way?
Oh, there's one right by you. It would you would draw an attack of opportunity from it.
Okay. Okay. So I drop my dagger and think about using the old ball bearings, but decide maybe not this time. And I will go with the light hammered. Can I get my swift strike, or do I just get one?
No, you get your if you're using hammer or dagger, you get your
Right.
swift strike.
Yeah, I'm going to use the light hammer. So that's 2 attacks. Holy moly. It's a natural 20.
Nice.
So, and the other was a 21. So,
All right, so roll to confirm the critical.
let's see, 5. Okay. Another 20.
Ooh, roll that one.
Let's go, Joe. Oh, 5.
Okay, that's still going to be. That's we're gonna call that triple max damage for that first attack, and go ahead and roll a percentile.
All right. 13.
Okay. And then what was the damage for what's triple max damage for you?
For the light hammer, that's 20.
Okay. And then what
No,
was
triple would be 15.
Okay. And then
The
what
other
about how much damage did you roll with the other one?
3, so 18 bludgeoning total.
Okay. So you, Jofar, you take your hammer and seeing the harm that Solana is under and knowing that you need to get to her rather quickly, you just pop this thing right in the soft spot of the skull and crush it in, and it hooks your hammer, and then you rip the skull right from the body and toss it across the room. And it instantly falls, collapsing into pieces.
That's how it's done.
So then, did you have anything else you wanted to do?
Yeah, if Sharp's right there. I just tap him on the shoulder. Your turn.
All right. So then, Cass, you're up. Monster on deck. Sharp in the hole.
So Cass would see Silhana get destroyed by that dog, and he would do like a stagger walk towards her, and then put his hand on her back, and cast Cure Wounds. So I'm just gonna roll a D8.
Praise him! Praise him!
Yeah, cool. That's a 7 plus 7 plus 4. So that's 11 hit points restored.
Oh, praise the Omnisire.
And then
How
look
did you
back.
restore so many? It's D8 plus your spellcasting modifier, right?
Yeah, that's plus 4, isn't it? Yeah, mine's plus 4.
Oh. Okay. I must have missed that. Never mind. All right. So you got so Solana, you heal back 11 hit points. What does that look like when you cast that spell?
That's right.
So-
What does it look like?
Yeah.
It looks like a creepy old man touching a little girl.
That's what I was thinking.
As her age changes again to 3.
Yeah, so I imagine it like so. Yeah, I put my hand on your back and like on like through your chest, like your it looks like your body, but like in like a ethereal sort of sense, comes out of your stomach and then goes back into you. So it's not so much like a heal as like a like the traditional sense where it closes your wounds. It's more like a soul heal.
Joe Biden, is that you?
All right. Anything else that Cass wants to do?
Yeah, I look back at Sharp, and I like do like a weird finger sign kind of thing, and in your mind you get like bardic inspiration, but for what's the name purposes, you get like this vision of you hitting the like one of the dogs like in the perfect spot. And that's it.
All right. So the next one, this one is close to Sharp. This canine skeleton actually bounds after Solana. So Sharp, you can go ahead and get an opportunity attack if you want to use it.
That is, I rolled a 19, so it's 25.
Okay. So that hits.
That is
The perfect spot.
You can also
10.
roll a d6 to the damage. Sorry.
I'll do that. So that's 10 points of damage plus 3 from the Bardic Inspiration, assuming it's a d6.
Wait, you can add that to the damage too?
Yeah, well, your bard says that, so
Oh, okay. All right. So how much damage?
10 plus 3, so 13 total.
Okay. Okay. So you take a good whack out of its shoulder blade, and it causes it to stumble a bit, but it continues to lap over to Solana. And now, with the two of these creatures in close proximity, the monster's ferocity seems to increase, and they use each other to kind of distract you. So I'm assuming a 24 hits, Solana.
Just barely. That was a close. Just barely.
Ooh, I rolled max damage last time. Now I rolled minimum damage. So you take 6 piercing damage.
Oh boy.
All right, Sharp.
So, how far away are these rats that just attacked Solana?
Everything's a
Or
rat.
the dogs, skeleton dogs, or whatever they are.
Not more than 10 feet.
Okay, so I will just move over to the skeleton dog I just hit and swing at it with my sword. It's 23.
That hits.
9 points of slashing damage.
All right, go ahead and describe how you kill this one.
So as it came up and was it, along with its companion, distracting Silhana or attempting to so that it could get advantage on its attacks, wasn't paying attention to me even though I just hit it. So I came up and slammed my sword down essentially right through the middle of its spine, severing the top few of its ribs and its head from the rest of its body.
Nice. And then it collapses. And then, so is there anything else you wanted to do on your turn?
No, that's it.
All right, Solana, you're up. Monster on deck. Jofar in the hole if it gets there.
Oh, I'm so tired of you already. And I'm just gonna punch it in the face. Because that's what I do best. Ooh, that's a 7 to hit.
Yeah, it dodges out of the way of your hit, your blow. The tearing up of your Achilles caused you to lose some of your balance, and so you're not being as accurate as you would have liked.
Well, okay, there's two ways this can go. Either I can use a key point and get flurry of blows, or I cannot and possibly miss and be killed by this guy because he's up next. I think I'm going to have to do flurry of blows again.
Or you could spend a key point and dodge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, except that every time they've hit me, they've beaten me more than the dodge would help.
Well, but dodge gives them disadvantage, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Does it? Yeah, true.
Yes.
And I think that's a bonus action, so
It is.
Right.
yeah, I'll just do patient defense.
All right. So the creature continues to attempt to tear into you, Silhana, but with disadvantage. It's a good thing it had disadvantage. I rolled a natural 20 on one of them, but instead it is a 14. Does that hit
That
you?
actually misses. Something misses me.
There you go. Jofar, you're up. Cass on deck. Sharp in the hole.
All right, so I head over to the last skeleton dog and attack it with my light hammer. Boy. 13.
That hits.
Okay, it takes 4 bludgeoning.
All right. So, much like Silhana experience, this one, it's different. When you drove your hammer through the skull of the other one, the skull gave way much more easily than this one. This one seems like it might be reinforced to some degree because your hammer almost just pings off of it nearly harmlessly.
It's hard-headed.
Anything else you want to do on your turn?
I yell at it. Stay.
Cass is up, Sharp on deck, Solana in the hole.
So there's only one of these dogs left, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm gonna start approaching the dog, and I'm just like, I'm gonna use like my animal handling to try and get it to run away. Like maybe I'm just trying to shoo it.
Okay.
I have advantage because of the Brothers of Scum and Snell, maybe, but it is undead, so I'm not sure.
It is undead, but you're a dirge singer as well, so I'll let you try it, but it's going to be at disadvantage.
All right.
If you want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it.
Okay.
So plus those bits. So I got a 10.
It doesn't seem to be swayed or respond in any way. Well, wait, before you do that, what did that look like for Cass?
So Cass would have just like walked up, putting his hand up like he would like any other sort of animal, and and he like tries to touch it, and he's like speaking Goblin to it, and it sort of just snarls and goes to bite him, and then
what does Cass say in the Goblin tongue?
He says, "Run away, proud animal." And but that doesn't work. So he's like, he like goes, "This one can't be reasoned with," and I'm going to use nimble escape to disengage and hide as a bonus action.
All right. So Cass ducks behind a pile of rubbish. Sharp, you're up. Solana on deck, monster in the hole.
So, certainly there'd be a look of displeasure crossing my face as I realized that our goblin friend just tried to talk to the animated skeleton and then buggered off and hid when that didn't work for some reason. And I'm now making connections between him and Joe Farr and whatever curse I am under. But so as a bonus action, has anybody hit the one that's remaining?
Yeah.
How does it look?
It looks to be bloodied. It can't be bloodied since it doesn't have any circulatory system. But it does seem like, despite the difficulty of cracking its skull, there are cracks starting to manifest.
Okay, well then maybe I'll save the spell slot. I'm just going to approach it and try to take it out with my sword.
Okay.
That's a 14.
Hits.
And that's at a 10 points of slashing damage.
And you have a magical weapon, right?
Yep.
So that cuts through the thing's skull like butter. So you leave a huge gash from the top of its cranium down through its jaw, causing the jaw to kind of hang off a little bit. And it looks at you, and it has like pinpricks of light within. It looks like it's just barely hanging on to whatever undead life that remains within it. Anything else you're doing on your turn?
So I assume it's like directly adjacent to the extent I can, I would like try to, even though this has no mechanical effect, get in position to try to block any attack against Solana.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if Solana is okay with it, you can kind of push her out of the way, and then if Solana is going to back off, I would allow that as a free disengage.
Wouldn't it get an attack of opportunity against me, though?
Free disengage.
Oh, free dis. Yeah, I should probably do that because I'm kind of fucked up right now physically.
Yeah, then I would do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just slide out of the way behind you.
All right, so Solana, then how are you spending your turn right now?
My turn right now. I'm gonna take out one of my darts, which unfortunately is not magical, and throw it at the thing.
Okay.
Let's see what we can do here. That's a 20 to hit, not natural.
Hits.
The magical 1d4. That's 4 damage.
Go ahead and describe how you kill it.
The dart.
Throw a dart right at its eye socket, and it hits there.
Pierces right through the back of its skull, and right in the point where the vertebrae meets the skull, discorporating it a bit and causing its head to go limp, and it kind of stumbles a bit as its joints start to give out, and then it crumbles into dust.
Ow.
Next time I'll hide behind you then.
I go up and retrieve my dart if I can.
Yeah, and your dart survived it.
Yay.
By the way,
Cass, you
go
can
ahead.
come out. The danger's over.
Good. I did not want to be eaten by a dog.
They weren't as dangerous as those rats. They would have gone for your eyes.
I went for my heel, which was bad enough.
We came in swinging. Of course they will fight back.
Thought we just came inside. I didn't really think we came in swinging.
We got first attack, didn't we?
Just
Oh, we didn't? Oh, yeah, true.
They swiped
It bit us.
at me first. Yep.
Well, I didn't see that.
Your self-defense.
Reminds me of this guy bugged on, who was on our rugby team. He always say, "You did not see what I saw." um, real quick, Cass, do you have a 15 charisma?
I have a, yes, 15 in charisma.
Okay, so you have a +2 to your.
Oh, I do? You
Yeah.
don't add proficiency?
No.
Well, fuck. I mean, well, not F word.
That's fine. Solana still healed that much, but I just wanted to double check on that. All right, so you guys are now in this room with some clutter and rubbish and broken glass, alchemy jars and everything, and now you have these 3 skeleton dogs who are mostly in pieces at the moment, and this flight of stairs that is inverted above you.
Well, first, after the fight, I'm sure I would take a couple rounds just listening to see if we hear anything else, given that this is a fairly enclosed space and fights tend to be loud.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I'm half deaf, so I'm probably not going to hear anything anyway.
Well, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Oh, God. Well, I rolled a 2, so 1.
Yeah.
Tinnitus is really kicking in today, isn't it?
Yeah, you're still hearing the ringing of your sword as it went through that thing's skull.
They're surrounding us.
I'm gonna spend some time wrapping up my leg in whatever I can because I just had a chunk of meat taken out of it. It's not going to do anything to heal me, but I'm just going to do that. And in the meantime, I'm going to take 10 minutes to cast Detect Magic.
Okay.
So then I can have that.
While Solana is doing that, does anybody else have anything they're doing for the next 10 minutes?
I just investigate the room, see if I find anything of note.
Okay. Go ahead.
And I will, after about 10 seconds of watching Jofar do that, I'm going to say, are you going to let our friend there just bleed out and not hand over that potion of healing I know you took from the last room?
She's young, spry. She'll be fine. Kids like that bounce back.
As the 2-year-old comes back, covered in blood.
I shake my head at that and let him go do whatever he wants to do.
So, Jofar, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Advantage. 11.
All right. You don't find anything of note. Nothing that really catches your eye. Anyone else doing anything while Solana is casting Detect Magic?
I'm going to do a ritual thing and sort of light some incense and send the dogs off to a spirit plane or whatever.
Okay.
In the book I read, there was nothing about them trying to reanimate the blink dogs, was there? I don't remember seeing that. Yeah.
No, nothing like that. If any, that seems to be something that must have happened since the fall of the tower.
Yeah, I thought as much.
Mm-hmm.
Very unhappy blink dogs.
So, Solana, you cast Detect Magic.
Yep.
You do see a couple of very faint magical auras within some of the rubbish. Go ahead and roll an investigation check with advantage.
Okay. And +4. Good. So that is a 20, not natural.
Okay. So you find a couple of things. Like there seems to be a drawer of alchemical reagents that seems to have survived the crash, and within you find what appears to be a cleansing stone and a sorry, and then a smoke stick, a couple of smoke sticks, like probably like four.
Oh, okay. I go up to Sharp and I say, "Hey, I got you one of these," and I hand him the cleansing stone.
What are you trying to say, kid?
That you're not very good with prestidigitation.
Does it cleanse livers?
It cleanses most things.
How many HP are you down?
I have 10 out of 21. I'll be fine, don't worry about me.
All right, I'm gonna cast Goodberry, and give you 5, so you get 5 more HP.
So that brings up a good point. Have you guys eaten anything today?
I do have 1 day's worth of rations that I keep in my sack.
Let me look here. I have a day's worth of rations as well.
But you don't need it because you just got 5 good berries.
Yeah. So, I mean, technically we have good berries, and if we have one of them, it's nutrition for the entire day.
Yeah, each person can consume a good berry and be good for the day.
Right.
There's,
Although I'm
shops-
sure I would have eaten my rations while we were resting. The 8 hours.
Does shop's rations include like a bottle of whiskey or something?
No, you would have seen me. I'm sure I've taken a nip or two from a flask I also carry. But no, the rations are just food.
Uh, so you guys, so you have detect magic on now.
Yes,
So that'll last for concentration up to 10 minutes, correct?
correct.
So you have that on, and you guys now have the task of trying to find a way to, one, get up to the stairs, which I believe I said the ceilings are something like, it's like 10 or 12 feet up.
Yeah.
So, how do you guys want to approach this problem?
Well, you said we can climb on them like monkey bars if we have to for a bit, correct?
Correct, but you have to get up to them first.
Yes, and they're 10 feet up.
Yes.
So, well, who's taller, Sharp or Jofar?
How tall I am? I am 6'1".
Oh yeah, you're tall.
I'm 5'5", so...
What about that dead kid? He's about that big. We just throw him up there. You can tell us what's up there.
Yes.
Well,
you
it's
could.
a set of stairs.
A great
do.
warrior can take on some stairs, and like the 8-inch warrior appears again.
His size keeps changing. It was 11, now it's 8.
Oh yeah, he shrinks.
Well, yeah, I don't really need to know anything more about the 8-inch warrior that grows and shrinks.
Now, what exactly does this warrior look like as he grows and shrinks?
I assume he has a helmet.
Looks kind of like a mushroom.
Oh no.
Definitely a chill in the air.
It's a bit nippy, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, his skin starts folding as he gets cold.
Oh my god. All right, so moving on. All right, so Solana, you're climbing on Sharp shoulders.
That's probably best, and then I can kind of monkey bar my way around it a bit.
All right. So first, give me an acrobatics check to balance on Sharp's shoulders, and Sharp, you give me an athletics check to hold Solana's weight.
That's 17.
Okay.
18.
Wait,
All
what do you
right.
mean hold her weight? You insinuating something?
Yeah, you fat.
Oh, shit.
All
Went
right.
wrong.
So you guys are able to fairly easily get it taken care of. Solana's pretty lithe in her figure, and then Solana, you're able to grab hold of the edge of one of the iron wrought stairs. Now it is going to be a challenge because you're kind of having to pull yourself along, like in a circle kind of thing, until
Yeah.
you can climb high enough to put your feet in there.
Yeah.
So that's going to be an athletics check.
Okay. I had a feeling. That's 18 total.
Okay.
13 and 5.
All right. So you're able to pull yourself up. It's pretty exhausting work.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard. But you finally get to the point where you're high enough where you can get your feet into it, and then it just kind of becomes a really awkward ladder.
Yeah. I thought so. Okay.
So there is the way that it is. You're kind of in a tunnel right now,
Mhm.
and it goes up a little ways before you can see the edge of the ceiling, which then the stairs go beyond all the way to the floor.
Mhm.
So do you want to continue climbing up, or what was your plan from here?
Okay, so I'm on the edge of something I can put my feet on, correct?
Yeah.
But it's
Right.
very awkward, so I probably don't have much leverage.
Right, because it's almost like it's at this point now it's a ladder, but it's also like angled weird.
Mhm.
So it's almost like you can almost do it like stairs, but it's like an inverted staircase. So it's awkward.
Yeah,
But you can
Okay.
do it. It's not like you need any checks to do it.
yeah. And how high up approximately does it look like it goes from where I am?
About 10 feet to the edge of the ceiling.
Okay, let me take a quick look for mathematics purposes. Okay, I'm gonna lower my rope down and say, I'll tell you when to go ahead and start coming up, and then I'm gonna make my way up the rest of the way, carrying the rest of the rope with me
Okay.
that they don't need.
All right. So then you begin to get to the edge of the room. How do you want to proceed?
Gonna approach slowly, first listening for anything, and then when I can get my eyes above the edge, if I don't hear anything, I'm gonna check and see what's in there.
Okay. So go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay. So that is a 17. Yeah, 13 and 4.
Okay. send you a message.
Okay. As the 12-year-old half-elf makes her way into a ladder.
Actually, while you have detect magic up, I would have
Yeah.
at least, before you started climbing, it would have occurred to me to have you scan that locked box I found to see if there's anything magical inside it.
Unless it has somewhere blocking detect magic.
Right, it could be lead lined, but
Yeah.
assuming it's not.
Oh, I send that Cass. Shit.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, now Cass
didn't
knows
see that.
too.
Cass knows everything.
Divisions.
Yeah.
We can just say that the 8-inch shoulder was up there giving her advantage, so that's how he knows.
Yeah.
Silhana always carries an 8-inch warrior with her.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Okay,
Is that what they're
so
calling them these days?
that's the name, the 8-inch warrior. On my case, about 4.5. I'm going to take a look over the side then, because I'm just hearing it clacking. And does my detect magic detect anything?
Your detect magic does not detect anything
Okay.
right now. And as you look over, you see you see just kind of a straight hallway that goes not very far, maybe no more than 5, maybe 10 feet, and then it seems to then split into 2 ways. So it's like a T hallway. So you're in the middle, and it splits, and you can't really see beyond that.
Okay, and do I hear the clicking sound still? Or the clacking sound?
You think you might hear it still, but the sound is it's hard to pinpoint, and it is very faint. But it sounds like it could be coming from everywhere or anywhere. It's really hard to distinguish.
I'm going to do something smart, and I'm going to look at the ceiling, which is now, well, the floor, which is now the ceiling.
It kind of just looks like a very normal paved stone, much like and the ceiling. So the ceiling, which is now the floor, also looks the same.
Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is there a little ledge above the door when I enter it, like a hallway, or is it just completely smooth from the stairs?
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
I mean, where the stairs come to an end,
Mm-hmm.
does the roof area have a little edge on it, or crack like a door frame kind of thing, or is it just smooth?
No, there's no door frame. It's just smooth.
Okay.
Because think about it. You're kind of like where you are right now. If you were going upstairs, up a spiral staircase, this is the ceiling. So the ceiling is kind of smooth as it gives way to the kind of the tunnel where because you got the pipe going right down the center, and the stairs are spiraling around that.
Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to where the crossroads are and take a look down each direction and see if I see anything there.
No, not immediately. Both are so what you see when you're looking to your right, there's another. It kind of goes right into another kind of parallel hallway.
Mhm.
So you look, and then actually you turn around and you kind of look down that,
Mhm.
and actually you do notice something when you look down that way. You see a dog, and it looks at you, and it kind of has its tongue out, and then it takes off, but as it takes off, it vanishes.
Okay. Okay. In that case, I'm gonna go back to where the stairs are, and I'm gonna call down. Okay, give me 10 seconds, and then start climbing. And then I'm gonna run back to where the curve was and actually brace myself there so I can pull these guys up.
Or so you want to pull them up. You don't want to just kind of anchor it, tie it around one of the stairs.
Would it be able to be tied around one of the stairs?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, in that case, I'll just tie it around one of the stairs. Be careful.
All right. So everybody that's climbing the rope, give me an athletics check.
21.
Can it be acrobatics?
Nope.
Shit. Oh shit.
How many action points we got?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to use one.
You don't have to use an action point for this. What
Well, I
ends
got a
up
2.
but so if you fail, you get up a little bit, but then you end up slipping and falling, and so you'll just take.
Natural 1,
Oh no, not a natural 1.
so that's why it's an action point.
Yeah, and I had
Yeah,
a 2,
you-
so that's why an action point.
If you guys want to use action points on this, go ahead. If you're going to use an action point, though, it's just going to be an auto success. I'm not going to make
That-
you roll again.
That's
Okay,
what I'm
cool.
going to do.
Yeah,
Okay.
same.
All right. Yeah, because action points are supposed to be heroic, not about climbing rope.
Oh,
I wanted
So-
Ratman to become Oracle when he was partially paralyzed, falling.
Sharp's lower spine gets destroyed and he's paralyzed from the waist down. From now on, we have to carry him around in a backpack.
All right, so all of you guys make it up to this next level. Is it cool if we take a short 5-minute break?
Yeah,
that's
sure.
fine.
Sure.
I don't.
Pardon me while I take 20 minutes figuring out how to climb a damn rope. That was fun.
Am I improving?
Yep, quite a bit. I noticed.
Good.
Well, I struggle to find a way to climb a fucking ladder. I was like, it's that kind of thing then. Okay, now, yeah, I can tie a rope. Because before I was like, how the fuck am I going to carry these guys up here?
Yeah. Well, if you hadn't tied it, you could also have, like, kind of put the rope over one of the stairs like a pulley and then just kind of pulled that
Yeah.
way, too.
I was thinking about ways that I can do it easier.
Yeah, let them do the work.
Exactly. Start of combat. Max damage! Ow! Like, yay! That was amazing.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm like, ooh. And then also, I should note that I misread the stat block. It actually said that it was vulnerable to bludgeoning. And I was like, oh shit. Well, I'm not going to retcon it now. All right, this one's magical and tougher than the other ones.
I was about to say, aren't skeletons normally vulnerable to bludgeoning damage? Oh,
Yeah.
screw it, maybe this is magical or some shit.
Yeah, so that was my bad. But I rolled with it because I
That's
wasn't going to
funny.
retcon anything.
Yeah. Oh, God. We're such a bad doggo. But now there's a new, strange, peculiar doggo up here who I must introduce myself to.
Yeah, a non-skeleton one at that.
Yep.
So before we get started, I can only really go another hour. I have an early work engagement. Does that work for everyone else?
Mm-hmm. That
Easy.
works for me.
Okay. Everybody ready? So carry on?
Mhm.
All right. So you guys are now in this new space. You have the short hallway and it's very narrow hallways. So you probably only have maybe an inch like on either side of your shoulders. So you're only able to get single file really in this space. And so it kind of right now here, you know what? I'm gonna draw it for you guys as you guys start going through it.
I assume it's quite roomy for Cass.
Oh, yeah. 3 foot tall. Yeah.
God, just listening to that obvious racism right there. Doesn't even try to hide it.
It's the truth. The truth doesn't hurt.
You take that back.
All right.
I'm not really fat, I'm just thick.
So you guys are right here, and then it kind of extends, and then there's this wall. And from and then it kind of goes like this. So you guys are here right now.
Which direction was the dog in?
Over here.
That was where the dog was. Okay. Okay.
up a little bit. So how do you guys want to proceed from here?
A quick question. How long has it been since I started climbing the ladder? How long did it take to get up here?
Couple minutes, probably.
Okay, so detect magic is still active then for the time being? Okay. I'm going to go to the center then. There was no magic detected either direction from there.
Right.
Well, within 30 feet. I'm going to say, okay, follow me. And I'm going to head towards the Blink Dog. In Blink
Okay.
Dog, I trust.
Why is this so hard? Okay, so you're going over this way.
Yep.
But we can see your cursor, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. You guys can't see any of the windows I got open though, right?
No.
Not the important ones.
Not the Pornhub one?
Okay.
Hey, what are you looking up 8-inch warriors for?
All right. So from where you saw the blink dog, it goes like. I'm trying to. Oh, you know what? Here, I can do this. All right, so it goes down a little bit. Erase that. And then it gets to another corner.
Mhm.
You guys want to keep going down?
I'm going to
Yeah.
approach the corner slowly and just look and see
Okay.
if I see or hear anything like that.
So Solana,
Unless Solana objects, I almost certainly would like push her behind me. In fact, I would rather have Joe Farr right behind me since he has my light source. But I would not let her just wander out up front after the encounter with the Blake Dog skeleton.
all right. So the order then, because you guys are only able to go single file through this area.
Right, that's
Sharp.
why I was-
Jofar, Solana, and then the Goblin, Cass.
Sure.
Yes.
But I can occupy any of their squares, so that's useful.
The
Yeah,
entire time
you
I'm
can.
walking.
It's a bit
Slow
uncomfortable.
Slow
at
down
times.
with that now.
But it makes sense to me that I would have the two guys who need the light source to see together and the two people who don't need the light source to see together.
So as you look around this corner, you see that the tunnel kind of goes on in here, and then in this area here, the area is completely covered in spikes.
Ah,
And then you see a doggo here, and it kind of yelps, and then disappears.
So did Solana mention the blink dog?
yeah, I was going ahead and saying I'm following the doggo. Which
So
I assume
I
should
would-
be
I
the
would-
term.
Yeah, I would tell everybody that there's spikes ahead. Although curious to me that they're that obvious.
Are there any on the roof as well? Is this like a spike thing, or is it just a, roof spikes as a decoratory thing?
No, I mean, it doesn't look like the spikes were. They're not built into the ground. They're almost like caltrops.
Oh.
This is right up my alley.
Yep, I will motion for Joe Farr to have at it because I know he's going to want to count every one just like he did with his ball bearings.
That's right. It's going to discern if there's an obvious pattern here.
Well, time to take a short rest.
All right, so Jofar, you've moved into the front.
Of course I have.
And what are you doing with the caltrop things?
I'm examining them, seeing if they've been put out in a specific pattern.
No pattern. Pretty haphazard. And they're not normal caltrops. They look to be not like if you tried to handle them or pick them up, they seem like they're not just sharp points but also bladed. Like these are pretty serious, no joke sort of things.
Let me check if I have a broom in my inventory. I don't think so. Nope.
So, take out one of my arrows
Mm-hmm.
and like reach down and see if I can like move one, if it's attached to the floor or if it comes and snaps the arrowhead off, or
It's not attached to the floor. It does give, but it's weighted pretty heavily. Like you see your arrow bending.
If only someone had a long sword with reach that they could just put on the ground and slide a bunch of things over at once.
Jofar, as you're examining all of this, you and everybody else. Hold on, let me get up the right thing.
what is that cat doing? Look out, Mike! It's coming for you.
This is how he dies.
It's a blink cat.
Oh shit! What the fuck do you mean blink dog? I think you mean blink cat.
All right, so you hear a bark, and Jofar, you look up and see that the dog has returned, and it begins charging towards you. And as it gets to the point where there are the caltrops, it suddenly disappears, reappears right in your face. And
Of course it does.
And it attacks you.
No, call him Blinky.
Does a 13 hit you?
Do I get any special disadvantage rolls because of my helm and my red eyes?
No.
Of course that hits me, yes.
All right. Okay. Give me a strength saving throw.
Now remember, the dog has a +8.
17.
Okay. So the dog disappeared right before these caltrop things, reappeared right in front of you, and you feel the full force of its charge on you, and it snaps at your neck, drawing some blood. You're able to avoid getting knocked down completely, but then it bounds off of you and disappears again, and then reappears on the other side of the caltrops and runs off. And you take 9 piercing damage.
That's a pissed off dog. Jesus.
So, Sharp, you had a front row seat to this.
Stop messing with the dog.
Bit me in the neck. Didn't you see it? It was unprovoked. Just like those rats.
The scofflaws in this place.
funny,
I would prepare an action. I mean, I'm still pretty narrow, so I'm still behind him at this point. But I would prepare an action to try to attack the dog if it does that again.
Okay.
Ready in action, I should say.
Okay, you can do that.
Now, in the book I read, did it tell me how to help, get to know the blink dog and get it friendly and shit? Offering it meat, the usual things.
Offering it
Uh,
necks.
I don't remember what I sent you.
It was very in-depth.
Yeah.
How to breed with the breeding program, training techniques, detailed exercise routines, the drawing of different kinds of obstacles or runways.
Okay, so you gather now. You're putting two and two together, seeing the blink dog and seeing the space and how tight and cramped it is, and the way that the hallways are. You're guessing that this is some kind of exercise run for these dogs.
And the other hallway looked the exact same, correct? Yeah, I mean, as in terms of how wide it was.
Right. You didn't look down it too far, but even if you had, it ended pretty quick in a new turn.
Mm-hmm. So we can continue this way. This is a dog, what looks like an exercise routine they had or a training thing. So we can either continue this way or we could go back the other and see if that's where it stops.
Did the book happen to mention any other ways out of the dog training place?
It was more specific about the type of training they were doing and less more on the location that they had in mind for it.
So Cass would crawl through people's legs and stuff, and then touch Jofar on the back and hit him with cure wounds.
So you're going to vote for me in the next election, right?
Solana, I'm gonna send you
So
a
you
message.
you heal 8.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate it, Papa Cass. Anything you do with these dogs, talk to them.
I think I got them mixed up with the rats. They're not. You don't have to be calm around them. You have to just fight them.
Important point. I'll make a note of it.
So, I mean, I guess best option I can think of, I would use my action to summon a different packed weapon than my longsword, and instead create, pointing out around to the side of Cass and Jofar, a pike. So 18 pounds and has reach, and then hand it to Jofar and tell him to try to start swiping away these caltrops.
So wait a minute. If you handed him your packed weapon, wouldn't it disappear?
No, it disappears if it's more than 5 feet away from me for 1 minute or more.
Oh, okay.
Appreciate it, Sharp. Not the first time I swung an 18-pounder.
I'm going to go ahead and say, this place is a maze. It's going to have caltrops, and there are going to be certain locations which the dog would have to blink through. So if you would like to work on trying to move these, perhaps, I can head back the other way and see if that seems to be more of a end to the maze or a start to it.
Well, we've established that these dogs aren't entirely friendly, so I wouldn't recommend you going off on your own.
Well, there's always the goblin.
Yeah, I'm nervous enough with him being in the back of the marching order where we can't see what he's doing.
Oh, it's fine. He's had his hands on my back the entire time, giving me a massage.
I definitely have not. I will not be me too'd.
Wow.
So how far across is this field of caltrops?
Like a lot, if we can all see that area, kind of.
It is 15 feet of caltrops.
I mean, then I would probably suggest we all turn around and see what the other corridor holds. If we're going to do that, certainly we
As-
shouldn't send one person off to take a look.
As you guys turn around as a group, you turn around just in time to see a blink dog snap at Cass.
No, bad dog.
13 hit you, Cass?
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
So you're able to duck away, and the dog actually leaps over you, blinks through the rest of you, and then appears on the other side of the caltrops and runs off.
Bad doggo.
I cast Blade Ward on myself.
So you're just going to repeatedly cast Blade Ward?
Yeah, just keep casting it.
All right.
Just walk around concentrating.
That's one way of doing it.
Okay, let's head back the other way from now, I guess.
All right. So heading back the other way.
And since we're not using this plan, I would dismiss this pike and bring my longsword back.
Okay. Why is it being weird? Come on. What is this supposed to do? Oh, did I just... Oh, there it is.
It's all
Uh-oh.
Oh, I hate drawing all this stuff.
For Christmas, we're getting you a copy of the Fantasy Dungeon Painter thing on Steam.
MS Paint.
Oh, where did... There it is. Okay. So... Yeah. All over the... All
MS
over
Paint for
this way.
dummies.
This way I can see both about what's going on and what I gotta represent. All right, so when you guys turn and go down the other way, the way kind of here it kind of goes this way, and then there's a wall like this, and there's a space right here, and then it kind of goes this way, and then actually this goes here too, and then there's as you're moving through there, it looks like this right here is one of those solid barriers.
Mhm.
But it looks different. It looks like wood right here rather than the stone walls that you are used to seeing.
Okay.
And
And what's that?
this also extends this way.
Okay.
So you guys are like, you guys have whoop, 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 or whoop, ooh.
Mhm.
I wonder if any of this is going to show up on the video or if it's just our faces.
Just like, what the hell is going on here? I'm going whoop whoop everywhere.
Yeah, whoop whoop here, whoop whoop there.
So
Okay.
assuming there's nothing up in the one direction, either we go back or we smash through this wooden panel.
Is anyone here strong enough to smash through a wooden panel?
I'm pretty sure I could summon an axe and chop into the panel.
I'm going
I don't know if
here's
there's-
Johnny.
I assume there's no stone behind it, because that would stop us real quick.
Yeah.
So I would, again, on saying that, dismiss my longsword and use an action to summon an axe.
All right.
Your longsword's gonna have fucking commitment issues after this episode, man.
I would assume, actually, I probably spent a lot of time switching between my weapons. I haven't so far in the campaign, but like I have crossbow bolts so that I can make a crossbow instead. I think I have used the crossbow. In fact, when we were attacked outside.
Yep.
When we first came at the.
I remember that.
All right. So go ahead and give me. Do you have proficiency in athletics?
No, I do not.
Okay. Then go ahead and just give me an attack roll.
17.
Okay. And then roll your dice, your damage dice 4 times.
What is the damage on an axe?
It depends on the axe.
If it's a
And
battle
axe.
axe, it's D8 or D10 because it's versatile. And if it's a great axe, it's 2d6.
I'll say it's more akin to a battle axe and put my shield down. So that is 25 plus 3 for my strength.
All right, so it's going to take you a good 3 to 4 rounds to get through it. Very loud as you're doing that. And then finally you get through it. You chop enough of it where you could, because it's pretty solid wood, so you also it looks like the axe is helping to get through, but now you're going to need something to kind of punch through. Does that make sense?
Yep.
I'm good at punching things.
Good roundhouse kick. Yeah.
Yeah, between your punching things and Joe Farr has a hammer, I will leave the rest of the work to you and pick my shield back up. And resummon my longsword.
It's time to start kicking through the damn thing. Here we go.
I'm going to check for rats first.
Yes, with all this loud noise, they're probably very angry.
Look who's suddenly
what
Mr.
is-
Caution.
What is the marching order right now in front of the plywood, or not plywood, but the wood barrier?
I assume that's just as narrow, but it looks like that sort of semicircular area is wider.
Yeah.
So I would assume we're sort of shuffling around in there to get different people. But I would have stepped away from the plywood and let probably Solana, since she wants to kick through it, but either Solana or Joe Farr through.
Yeah, so it looks bigger, but actually, if that's just because I suck at drawing on the computer, it all is still pretty narrow, where you're forced to be single file for the most part.
We could still either squeeze around people or have people go back towards the trapdoor.
Oh
and other
yeah,
people
no,
down the
yeah, you
hallway.
guys can move
Like one
through
of
each
those-
other's spaces.
It's like one of
and
those
everything.
tile puzzles where you're trying to make like a picture, sliding things around.
Right, I'm just wondering what the marching order is while Solana is trying to punch through the wood.
I would be behind Solana at that point, and then I would tell Joe Farr to be behind me so that the torch is nearby.
Then I'd be at the back. Gotcha.
And I'm getting a massage then.
I'm doing the creepy massage there.
Hey there.
Yeah. Also, he's only like 3 feet tall, so it's really not the
It's
back
your
so
bum.
much as
I'm
the
getting your
butt.
bum.
Well, at least you're accurate to the character.
Your butt is very tense.
All right, so Solana, as you start punching through the wood, you hear on the other side of the wood a dog bark, and then suddenly it appears as if the dog is mid-pounce on the wall behind you, and then it leaps forward and suddenly disappears and is on the other wall and leaps forward again and then strikes out for Sharp. Does a 19 hit you?
A 19, I'm sure hits me. Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a strength save.
Oh, I'll use my action point on that natural one. 18.
Okay. So you avoid being knocked to the ground, similarly to Jofar, but it does take a good bite out of your shoulder. Thankfully, you're wearing armor, right?
Yep.
So the armor absorbs the blow, but you still feel it ringing throughout your arm, and so you take 14 piercing damage.
And I assume the dog then blinks away, or is it still there?
Actually, it's still there for a moment. It kind of lets itself fall to the ground and it lands on its feet, but you guys are all kind of squished everywhere, because it's all such tight quarters. And then it begins to kind of start running away from the barricade, trying to go around and through people's legs.
No, sit. Bad dog.
So Sharp and Jofar, you guys could get attacks of opportunity.
At this point, it's pretty much a vicious mad dog.
Is it just one, or do I get the two because of Swift Strike? Or no?
No, with a reaction, it's just the one.
Okay, cool.
I notice you're not having anyone do Constitution saving throws when it bites them. Does that mean this dog does not have rabies?
I mean, it might have secret magic rabies.
Magic rabies.
Right. Rabies, you don't make a save instantaneously. It takes at least a day or so before that manifests.
Yeah.
I got a 22 to hit.
All right, so that hits.
7 points of damage.
And then Jofar?
I miss wildly.
Okay. And so, Sharp, you said 7 or 8?
Yep, 7.
7. All right. And then Cass, just before you would be able to take a swipe at it, it disappears again.
Gotta watch out for them parkour blink dogs.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining a dog jumping up and down on a couch, and then it stops and goes, parkour! And then it jumps on something else.
So oh, go ahead.
Can I can I get enough time to sneak in like a bonus action maybe?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what were you thinking? I'm not gonna say no. What were you thinking first?
The haunting melody, the dirge singer sort of, the ability which I get for being the dirge singer. So I get to interrupt their spell check or whatever, or concentration check if it requires one.
So, you can certainly use that ability. For the time being, as you start it, it doesn't seem to interfere with their blink process now.
Okay.
But if you keep it up, who knows? But then, can you keep it up and keep casting Blade Ward?
Well, no.
Can you keep it up while warding off the swords? We don't know.
Yeah, okay. I'll give it a crack. Like I'll use it.
Okay. So you begin using your haunting melody. So what does that look like
So
for everybody else?
I sort of like I envision like because I've been watching a lot of throat singing stuff on YouTube recently. So I imagine like Cass is going like really deep, but like what the spellcasters or whatever like interrupts them is it's sort of like a high ringing like note which sort of blocks like their frequency to cast spells.
Okay. Reminds me of the character that Kurt played in that one-off that we had.
Was he also throat singing while trying to keep it up?
Oh, God. So, anyways. Wait a minute. This haunting melody is a bonus action. It doesn't require your concentration. You can do it as long as you have bardic inspiration. So you could keep Blade Ward up and be doing this.
There we go.
All right. So Cass starts just belting out this weird melody that's just, it's really kind of disturbing. And I imagine it kind of makes people's skin crawl as they hear it. So Solana, Sharp, and Jofar, how are you all reacting to this sudden thing?
She's just kicking the fucking wood as fast as she can. No.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what he's trying to do. I mean, I would recognize he's trying to do something, but I probably would ready an action to, if I see another dog, take a swing at it.
He's summoning the dogs to us. He wants them to attack.
So Solana, go ahead and roll an attack roll and roll 4 damage.
Okay, that's 23 to hit total.
Okay, actually roll 5 damage.
That is 9 on the dice, and plus a 3, so 12. I rolled a bunch of ones on damage.
Yikes.
Yep.
Roll a Constitution save.
Okay. Oh, that's a D6. That's not going to help me there. That's a net 20 plus 1, so 21.
Okay. All right. So your fists and your feet are definitely bloody from the effort. You are able to eventually get through, but you are winded. You've managed to avoid taking any exhaustion from it, but you're definitely feeling the worse for wear after that. That was tough work.
That was not plywood, that's for sure.
So now this is gone, and what you see beyond that is, so you got, it's more rounded. You have a bunch of spikes here, and then the wall goes here, and then there's another thing here. This is terrible. I'm sorry, guys. So there's more spikes here, but you're able to get through here and this. And then this needs to move out of my way. So if you begin, you can avoid these spikes, thankfully. And you can go this way. And then you have kind of a split right here, where you can either go this way or that way.
If
And
Did the,
from,
mem-
and
did the
from what you
memoirs
can
say
see,
anything about the dangers we might face in the maze?
it says weird caltrop things and barricades the dogs need to teleport through. And that's what it says. And also something about a lava pit, but that was just added now.
so you guys have this way that you could go, or you guys have this way.
Well, for the moment, Solana's in the front, so I would just follow whichever direction she goes.
Do I hear anything like the clanking sound coming from either direction?
So the clanking sound it wasn't a clanking sound, it was a clacking.
The clacking.
And now you are realizing that the clacking sound you are hearing was the slight scrape of the nails of the blink dogs as they were trotting through this place.
Okay, I see. Well, it's a weird fucking place for a staircase to wind up at. But, let's see here. Let us head towards the center of the maze.
So this
The
way?
top path, yeah.
Okay.
There might be cheese or something at the end.
So as you move this way and you look up here, and the tunnel goes all the way down, but there are these barricades, and you can see through them because they're not quite. Well, you can see through this one because it seems like it's got like a centerpiece to it that's missing. So it's meant to be able that the dogs could like kind of jump through the middle of it. And then, yeah, actually you can see all three of them because they each have a spot where they can jump through the middle.
Okay. How big's this spot?
Big enough for a blink dog to get through, so it's big enough for most of you to get through as well, because blink dogs are pretty big.
Yeah. Well, I'll start squeezing through then. I'm not sure if we can all make our way through though.
So one thing that you notice is once you get through, so Solana, you're here.
Yeah, the spikes down there.
Everyone else is there. There's more spikes here, just in front of the barricade.
Mhm.
And at that point, everybody hears a howl resonate throughout the maze.
I would squeeze through the hole then to get on the same side. How many people can fit in the hallway between where this gap is? We're making our way through in the spikes.
2 people before you get to the pushed up against the spikes.
How
You can
big?
have-
How much feet do the spikes take up?
5 feet.
5 feet? Yeah, that's not awful. Okay.
So at that point, Solana, you suddenly see a blink dog running towards you this way. It jumps through the wooden barricade and then disappears, and then you hear it bound off of the barricade behind you, and then as it bounds off, it disappears again.
And I don't see it on the other side.
You don't see where it went that second time.
Mhm.
So my warning melody isn't doing much. It's just they're still bouncing around.
So actually, so Sharp, I'll let you, because you readied an attack. I'll let you do it, but because it was so sudden, your attack roll will be at disadvantage.
Right.
Try
I
and
think that's-
swipe at it.
I
you
would
wanted.
say, I would just point out that I can probably barely see since I'm seeing by whatever torchlight is making it through the hole.
Oh, right.
So I'm not sure I even saw the dog bound off the wall behind me.
So that's another important aspect. Thank you for bringing that up, Kurt, is that the light source. So Jofar was the one that was holding the torch before, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
So Jofar, are you still okay with holding the torch? You're muted.
I got to see.
Gotta make sure there's no rats, right?
That's right. So when I heard the howl, I would when I see Sharp scurry through the hole, realizing that I can't get through there. Also, I just step to the side because I don't know what's coming through there.
Right, so you guys, you have two people on this side, then you have Jofar and Cass on this side.
Well, Sharp, there are spikes in front of us. And another way we can go through again if we can get past them. And
Well-
there is a dog blinking around everywhere.
Well, my first thought is that you should maybe do some sort of acrobatic dive through the next hole, but there may be spikes on the other side too.
Yes. Well, I can still try the acrobatic dive through it.
Right, but then head first into the spikes on the other side.
Yes. Yes. I know. It would be funny.
And then,
but-
and probably of this crowd, you are the only one who would successfully make the acrobatic dive through that hole.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Jofar seems pretty dexterous. Dexterous? English? Speak? Not. I've forgotten how to speak. Come and help. Jofar seems pretty dexterous.
All right, I will go back out and send Jofar in so that at least the two of you can make it through. So I'm going to poke my head through and tell them to back up and then shimmy back through the hole and tell Jofar to go in, and I will hold the torch while he crawls through.
So
And
Jofar,
explain to him that he has to jump through a tiny hole over the far end of those spikes over there so that he can keep Solana safe.
This is so much easier as a rogue.
so Jofar, what are your thoughts about that?
Not a problem. I hand him the torch and take out another one and light it.
Okay. Do you go through the hole then? The barricade?
Yeah.
Okay. So you go through the barricade, so now it's you and Solana in the barricade, or in that section with the glass,
Spikes.
or so it's not the glass, the spikes.
That would be even funnier if she goes to dive through and there's glass.
Okay, Joe, I'll go through first, and then you throw me the torch, and I'll act as light for you to get through. Okay?
Sure.
All right,
I'm
so
gonna try
you're
that. Yep.
okay. So you're gonna try and jump through.
Yep.
Okay. So we're how do you envision going through? Because there's not enough room, especially with Jofar in the room, for you to get any kind of running start.
Yeah. Yep. Well, it's only 5 feet, which isn't very far to get to.
But you're jumping 5 feet, and then it's like
The hole. Yeah.
it's like going over a hurdle,
Yeah.
which is a few feet off the ground, like 3-4 feet off the ground, and the hurdle is only about maybe 3 feet wide.
Yeah. So I'm imagining I'd have to jump over, and then I might be able to grab onto the bottom and the top of the hurdle and kind of pull myself through completely once I get to it.
Well, the hole is circular. See, I would imagine
okay. So that's a good question. It is not circular. It's as if there's just a whole section of the barricade that's not there.
And how thick's the barricade? Like, can a hand wrap around it, or?
Yeah, it looks to be a few inches.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't know how Joe Farr is going to do it, but I would imagine Step of the Wind could probably get you enough momentum.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is I can Step of the Wind if I need to.
And given that you're like 4 years old, you could probably fit right through that gap.
Exactly.
And then tumble on the other side and end up on your feet.
So I'm going to use my temporal abilities to change my age to 4. Again.
All right, so Step of the Wind, it doubles your jump distance, right?
Yeah. Let me get the exact word so I'm not lying to you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, take a distance. And your jump distance is doubled for the turn, correct? So I can jump.
All right, and so you're doing a long jump, effectively, with a high jump component to it.
Yes.
So long jump. What's your strength score?
12.
Okay, so you would be able to jump 12 feet.
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute.
But how tall is your character?
Oh.
I am. Let me get the exact thing. 5'5".
So there's a whole calculator for figuring this out. Without a running start, you can long jump 12 feet and high jump 4 feet off the ground.
Yeah, so I could just slide right through. Class on the other side.
Okay, so give me an athletics check to see how well you can do this.
Athletics. I'm decent at jumping. That's actually good. That's 17 plus 1, 18 whole athletics.
All right. So, and you're using your Kai point to do Step of the Wind. So you're able to successfully get through. What does it look like as you're using your Kai point to summon this effort?
I'm just going to take a deep breath, get my arms ready, tense up, and then just jump through as fast as I can.
So you are able to jump through. You do succeed in missing the spikes directly on the other side.
Yeah.
And jump just beyond them.
And what do I see in here now?
Now you see another one of these barricades, except this one doesn't have any of the slats, so you can't see beyond it.
Okay. I have a horrendous feeling that this loops right back around to where we started.
And then so Cass, and what are you doing through all of this?
I'm still doing the throat singing.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be quite effective. No blink dogs have attacked him yet.
I know, right? Yeah. They just blink right past me.
So at that moment, funny that you should mention that. Give me a perception roll. Yes.
Perception. 18.
Okay, so you're not caught off guard as a blink dog turns the corner right at you. And so it attempts to nip at you. 20, not natural.
It's a hit.
So it hits you.
Did it roll with disadvantage? Does he still have his blade ward up?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, is that disadvantage or is it resistance?
It's resistance. It's resistance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Shitty cantrip.
Well, you might be glad for it after he rolls the damage.
Yeah, sure.
yeah, you're gonna be because I rolled max damage for him. So, it was 11 piercing damage, and also my blade ward's a little bit different. Are you using mine or are you using the normal one?
I think I'm using the normal one. Yeah, I didn't look at your
Okay.
blade board.
My blade ward you can do on other people, but anyways, that's notwithstanding.
I was planning on doing that anyway.
So, but it hits you, it bites into you, but the magic kind of absorbs some of that shock. So you only take 5 piercing damage since you have resistance to it. And you notice that it attempts to teleport away, but as you're using your dirge singing, you can see that it takes a little bit more effort, and it kind of squelps, as dogs do sometimes when they're stressed, but it is able to teleport away.
That wasn't a nip, that was a damn bite.
Yeah, it would be like clothes. My clothes got damaged. That was ripping my leg off.
Well, actually, considering your size, it probably actually went for your arm because you're so much smaller than everyone else.
It went after his 8-foot warrior.
It fit its whole mouth and fit my whole head in its mouth and then ran away.
Now for my next trick, a blink dog. Well,
Okay. Well, yeah, sweet.
yeah.
I just stopped dirge singing because it's pretty useless. They still blink away. I doubt it hurt it.
You were distressing it, so that's. I assume it's
It
distressing.
screamed in
Something to do with the fact that it didn't like your singing.
Yeah, well, not many people do.
That's why normally river dancers.
It's a goblin thing.
All right, so that happened. So now Solana is on the other side of this barricade. There's a solid barricade before her. Jofar is in the room with the spikes where Solana had jumped from, and you have Sharp and Cass in the back, having just been attacked by a blink dog. So, what are you guys doing now?
Okay, Joe, stay there and don't come through yet. I'm gonna see what happens.
Meanwhile, not hearing that, I lean through and say, "Okay, Joe, now you just jump through that hole."
Not hearing that, I turn around and start trying to punch my way through the other barricade now, because I have to. Otherwise, I'm trapped on this side. No, I could probably do a running jump, but... Yep, I'm just going to start kicking my way through this barricade here.
All right, so Solana, you're starting to try and break the barricade. Go ahead and give me an attack roll.
Okay. That's 17.
All right, go ahead and make 4 damage rolls.
Okay. That's a total of 18 damage to it.
Okay, so you do pretty well with starting to break it. It is starting to crack a bit, but it is still very tough and resisting your punches and kicks to some degree. So it's going to take a bit longer. So as Solana is taking the time, and you hear the thwack, thwack, thwack of her, kind of reminding Solana of her old exercises of punching trees and shit, I'm sure.
We don't have trees in the cons. We used to have to punch people instead.
Oh yes, or the lava tubes that are that have hardened. So while Solana is doing that, what's everyone else doing?
I am going to cast Armor of Agathis on myself.
Okay.
And then try to figure out what the holdup is with Jofar not leaping through the hole.
I'm guessing my spells got like that one use because it's like it uses bardic inspiration, so I guess it would have wore off or something since it did its thing.
For what?
For the blade, the thing, what's it called? The haunting melody.
No, that you can use as long as you have bardic inspiration.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't cost you anything,
Oh,
but
I
you can
thought
only so if you spend all of your bardic inspiration, you no longer have the ability to use the haunting melody.
Okay, I keep holding it then.
And the thing is about the haunting melody, because it disrupts spellcasting concentration, is anytime somebody rolls their concentration check while you're doing it, you can spend your bardic inspiration as a penalty to their roll.
Okay, cool. All right, well, yeah, I'll just keep it held then. You just hear me going.
Yeah. Cass can hold this note annoyingly long. So Jofar, what's the holdup?
So Solana told me to wait. I'm waiting.
You're leaving her over there to be attacked by blink dogs alone. Don't do what a child tells you just because she said so.
I'm not listening to you. It's probably midday. You're halfway on the sauce, so you're not making any sense.
Well, he's not wrong about that.
Did she tell me about the?
Nope, I just told you to stay
Okay.
to wait for a minute. Gotta get through here first.
So then I would turn to Cass and say, like, well, obviously this guy is just going to let our other friend die to blink dog attacks. So I'm going to put you through the hole. You leap through the hole on the other side, and then defend her if need be.
I just look at you through my furrowed brow and just go.
And I will pick you up like a extra long loaf of French bread and just like feed you through the hole.
Don't forget his 8-inch warrior.
And his blade ward.
The entire time he's still holding that note as he goes through.
So that's actually an interesting thought, because my version of Blade Ward, here, let me bring up my version, and I'm gonna put it in the chat so that Brennan, you can see, because I think it might be somewhat valuable to know what my version of Blade Ward does.
Hentai hippos, thick anime girls go at it. What's that?
What?
This will be a fun one to remember all this 2 weeks from now. Who was where? How many?
Where's the chat? Come on now. Come. What the? Give me the chat. Where's the chat? There's the chat. No, everyone. All right. This is my version of Blade Ward.
Okay. Oh, cool. Well, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I imagined it anyway. From what I read, like the traditional spell, like even though it says yourself, I was probably always going to cast it on somebody else, but I would have used like an action point or some shit. But yours doesn't need that, so good. Win.
Mine is actually useful for things other than Eldritch Knights.
And when you, if you should happen to, I should say, fail jumping through and fall onto the caltrops, Blade Ward.
I'm fine.
Solana, give me another attack roll.
You know, assuming the caltrops aren't poisoned or rusty, so you get tetanus.
Shit, I forgot to roll for tetanus. That is
Eldritch tetanus.
17. That's the spell which all warlocks have to use now instead of Eldritch Blast. Eldritch tetanus.
You rolled a 17 again?
Yeah.
All right, so another 4 damage attacks.
Oh, that's good. Oh, yeah. That is 17.
Okay. So it's taking you a lot of effort. So you're able to break through, but once again, even now more so than even before, your knuckles and your feet are bloody.
Yep.
So all right, so you take 3 damage from punching through solid wood with your own flesh and bones, and then give me a Constitution saving throw.
Here's the rabies.
16.
Okay, so
My
you're
Eldritch
able to
tetanus.
avoid taking a level of exhaustion, but you are very tired from this.
I can imagine. Not fair. Jackie Chan never had to deal with this shit.
And so now, Solana, because you've broken through the barrier, you can see beyond what is there. And I gotta say, I don't think you're gonna like it.
It's a banquet table with wine, right?
Right, so
It goes this way.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
all barriers.
I turn around and I walk towards the spikes and I say, okay, everyone, we have to go back. Marty, we have to go back.
We're probably getting near like a nest of blink dog puppies, which are the most succulent of the blink dog meats.
I turn around and head towards the blink dog puppies. Look.
So, Solana, did you want to go and see what's down?
Yeah, I'm just going to take a look.
Okay. So you turn, and right then and there, you see a blink dog. And so roll, just Solana, roll initiative.
Oh boy. Okay, that is I'll just tell you instead. It's 19.
Okay, so you have a chance to act before the blink dog.
From what I learned from that book, do I know anything about training blink dogs? Like making them passable?
It would take much more than this brief interaction that you have.
I thought...
in terms of time.
Well...
If this were Peter's game, you would just have to jump on its back and try to ride it and make a good animal handling roll.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, get the half-elf child on top of riding that blink dog all night long. That's what I'm saying. No, I'm just going to proceed to fist the blink dog. Time to punch it.
Okay.
Got an action point, don't you?
Do I? Yeah, it's fine. Okay, that's a 17 to hit it.
Okay. That hits.
Okay. And that's 6 damage. And then, can I use an action point to get back a key point?
You can use an action point as a key point, yeah.
Okay, I'll do that and do flurry of blows on the thing.
Okay.
Okay, let's do this then. That's a... Yeah, that's going to hit. That's a 22.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try and knock it prone. So a DC 12 strength check for it. And he also takes 5 damage.
I feel like we probably heard Solana yell, "Leroy Jenkins!" as she ran off down the hallway.
In search of wine and meat.
All right, so you were just going to knock it prone?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it rolled a natural 1, so let's see if it becomes a critical fail.
Oh, Jesus.
What kind of save is it?
It is a DC 12 dexterity save.
Okay, it passed, so it's not a critical fail, but it's just a regular fail.
Okay. Are there any caltropes down this way?
No.
No? Fuck. Okay. Well, I just gotta attack it again. I have disadvantage at least.
Yes.
I lured the dog in with a piece of bread, and then I stomped on its little head with a natural 20. Thank you, Jesus.
All right, roll it again to confirm.
Oh, praise the Omnisire. That's a 17.
All right, so that hits. So now it's considered a critical. Go ahead and roll a percentile.
Percentile, okay. I gotta roll one of those.
That's right. So I don't know, Josh, if you've experienced my criticals before.
Not since a few nights ago. It was a while, though.
Okay.
That's a 97.
Oh, geez.
Whatever that is.
I think, if I'm not mistaken,
Uh,
I have to find out. Is
What did I
it
do?
97? That's a secret achievement.
what's that mean?
You've unlocked one of the secret achievements. If you look at my DM house rules, my critical hit table is all revealed except for a few select ones. So 97 is unfortunately not that fun. And one ally within range can make an immediate attack against the target.
Ooh.
It's like how shiny Pokemon really aren't that much better than regular Pokemon.
Really?
All
All right.
right.
So Josh, you can choose to either take another attack yourself, or you can re-roll on the table.
I'll do another attack myself. I have more faith in me being able to. How much damage do I deal to the blink dog?
So you deal double max damage.
Okay, and double max is 7. So double max of what the roll would be, correct? Not the roll and the.
No, the roll and all.
Okay. So 14 then.
Okay.
As I smash its little skull into the dirt.
And then go ahead and take another. So this is your last attack because you did your 2 flurry of blows, right?
Correct.
So, and this one is at advantage as well.
Yep, he's prone. That's a good thing too. So that was a 2, and that is a 16.
That hits.
Okay. And that's another 5 bludgeoning damage.
All right. So the blink dog yelps as you're just beating on it, as it is in the prone position, and it then immediately stands up. It blinks, and then it attacks you from behind.
Mhm.
So.
It summons 2 members of PETA.
As Tiamat is.
But despite the fact that it teleported and tried to attack you from behind and catch you off guard, you kind of were prepared for it because this thing's been blinking around all night. And so you're able to duck just in time for it to sail over you, and then it runs and turns the corner.
Can I go ahead and do a attack of opportunity as it leaves my space?
Yes, you can.
Yay!
I do like the notion that maybe blink dogs can get like pack tactics even when they're alone by doing like
That's terrifying.
the Picard maneuver of running at you and then appearing behind you.
Okay, that's 21 to hit, 16 and 5.
That hits.
And there's 7 damage. So as he goes over my head, I'm just going to kick him in the stomach.
All right, so let me check something real quick.
Bad blink doggo. No treats
All right,
for it.
so as it tries to run off, what did you do? You punched it, you kicked it?
Yeah, I'm just going to, as it goes over my head when it misses me with its attack, I'm just going to twist around and kick it in the stomach.
So as you kick it, it releases a really sickening yelp, and you can hear the crunch. And it's not a bone crunch; it's one of those soft flesh crunches that are even more sickening because it's kind of wet. And then it gets knocked against the wall and falls down in a heap, and you can hear the blink dog whining with the and it's like trying to crawl away a little bit, and you can hear its breathing quicken, and then it kind of shudders, and then its tongue lolls out and it's no longer breathing.
Not actually doing it, but I'm going to loot the body. No. Okay. Well, that's taken care of. I'm going to keep heading down that hall and see if it really does loop back. How depressed I'm
So
going to be.
before we get there, is anybody else doing anything? And then we're gonna call it a session.
I mean, as soon as I heard like the sound of an actual fight, even though I've already fed Cass through the hole, dropping him on the other side, I'd be like, Jofar, get out there!
Jofar is just silent.
Like, oh shit.
I mean, did we hear the fight?
Yeah, you guys all heard pretty clearly, especially the final blow Solana delivered to the dog and the crying and the yelp.
Yeah. So as I like get ready to try to go through, and I hear the yelp, and then I was like, well, I guess we're good.
You probably know Solana doesn't yelp like that when she's hurt.
No.
Not yet.
Oh,
Hey.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just not watching you move. I will say, are you under the impression there's only one dog on this entire maze? And then I'm gonna take off. Since she said we have to go back anyway, I'm gonna take off running for the original set of spikes that made us turn around. That I'm probably gonna charge across. I can't go through the hole because they got two people there.
Okay. I gotta say, I wasn't really expecting that. All right, so so that's 15 feet. So make your first dexterity saving throw.
Oh, he's getting there already. Jesus, he's fast.
That is a
Did you want to
13.
just run across it, or did you want to try and jump and run?
Oh, I would try to jump. You know, on the theory that, hey, you never know whether or not you'll be able to jump 15 feet. But
It is a
you
running
kind of
jump.
know.
You do have enough room to get a running long jump. So what's your normal long jump?
Let's see. I don't have a step of the wind.
You expect me to believe that?
Action points.
Yeah, I don't have action points.
Oh, you're fresh out? Oh, shit.
We only have one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's
What'd you nerf them?
half your proficiency bonus is the number of action points you get per session.
So
You have action points.
my running start long jump is 8 feet.
Okay, so you can clear a good half of it, potentially more if you have a good athletics check. So we'll start with the athletics check.
Stomps down.
That's a 17.
Okay, so I'll give you another 3 feet added to that. So you can clear 11 feet. So you really only have the 5-foot movement, but landing in the spikes, it's pretty painful. But you do have Armor of Agathis up, which is going to help a bit.
And he's wearing stilts.
So you take 5 piercing damage from the spikes, and then you also need to make a dexterity saving throw, or you're going to be stuck in the spikes and take some more damage.
That's also 17.
Okay, so you're able to avoid that. So you can move out of the spikes freely, but since you are moving through them, it's going to be a little bit more damage. Not as much as landing on them, but still.
Oh, I was mistaken. I was reading the wrong column. My long jump was 16 feet.
Oh.
My standing long jump is 8 feet. My running long jump is 16 feet.
Well, then, just clear the fucking
Then you cleared it, so you don't take any damage.
And then I run into the entire den of blink dogs.
So going that way,
I do have the torch now, though. So at least I got that.
So you can get right to Solana, because basically it just looks like this. So it's just here, and there's Solana.
So, dead blink dog behind me.
And we'll pick up next time there.
Yeah. At that, seeing that there's actually nothing going on now, I would have said, God damn it. That's where the session ends.
All right.
That was fun. I mean, we didn't actually find anything on this maze. I'm beginning to think this maze may just be for dogs and therefore pointless.
Yeah, it's the only staircase. It's the only way. Like, why would you build the staircase to this area and then have no other way down?
Right. Although, I mean, it makes sense to me that, maybe they're not storing all the good stuff below the dog maze, below the bedrooms.
God.
There's the other path we didn't take, so
Yeah,
there could still be something here.
Yep.
They're definitely. You guys have more to explore for sure. what did you guys think about how this maze is going? Because I thought that it might be challenging since this is really their territory. So I wanted to balance it with feeling like, this is a challenge and you guys are on something else's turf, so that there's some frustration there, but not so much that it makes it unfun.
I thought that was excellently done. Like, it makes sense to me that they are good at jumping around this place because this is where they live, and we are not. And the challenges do seem like well designed for blink dogs and not so well designed for adventurers.
Exactly.
So I think it's well done.
I think I need someone to give me an axe to use so I can get through these fucking walls.
You have definitely. I thought very hard about taking spider climb as a spell, and I was like, nah. And you've made me regret that.
Who ever uses spider climb? No one. Or the long jump spell, or any of the other spells. Yep.
So, yeah, as always, if anybody thinks about anything that they think they were wondering my reasoning for specific rulings, or any questions, comments, critiques, feel free to email them once again, because I really want to make sure that I'm always looking to improve myself. And so if there's any things that you guys think that could be tweaked to make this a bit more fun, definitely let me know.
So did you set them up as like traps, as in like tripwire traps kind of thing, or more so creatures which just attack you whenever they got the chance?
With
Like
with how the
mechanically.
blink with like when the blink dogs were attacking.
Yeah.
I just, whenever it felt like it made sense, when there was a lull and maybe we needed to kick things up a notch, I figured, and at least one of them I thought, make the threat there, but don't have it actually attack. Because I want to portray the sense that they're not just trying to hurt you, but they're also playing with you.
Yeah. I didn't really want to fight them because I'm like, oh, they're dogs and they seem playful because they got their tongues out and everything and they're happy, and then now it's biting people. Oh well, in that case it's kind of bad if it's done it a few times. Yeah. If no one just playing.
So when I had the blink dog die, when Josh managed to kill it, I wanted to one kind of get that sense that you guys just killed a dog, but also
I got that sense. Yeah, I didn't particularly care for it, but I got that sense. Yeah.
So that's the question: was that too real for people? Because I don't want to be.
No, but I mean.
Okay.
The whole last campaign was this body horror that didn't bother me, but that one scene, that bothered me.
As the dog died with its tongue out. I was going to go ahead, if it was still alive, just walk in and break its neck out of mercy.
I would say that it's a dog makes it more impactful than if it was just almost any other monster.
Yeah, like a human or something.
But I also kind of feel like Sharp would kind of be a little hardened to that.
Yeah.
Like, he's probably run across in the course, particularly living in the bad parts of the city, vicious dogs. So he's really viewing this as more in the vicious dog category.
Yeah.
Vicious, magical, parkour dog. The worst kind of vicious dog.
It depends on if you wanted us to feel sorry for it, or if we, you could have just been like, and its mouth was drooling with blood because it just bit somebody and you can see the rabies forming and stuff. We'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, they're those kind of dogs. But no, they're innocent dogs which just die with their tongue out and their heads crushed in. Like, all right, cool.
For me personally, I'm saddened that I had to kill a dog, and for Silhana, I'm sure that she's dealt with it before a lot, where she's from, and eaten them and whatnot. But after reading that book on how to train them and take care of them and love them and everything, it probably would have had quite an impact on her.
Yeah, I feel like House Fidelis probably has eaten its share of Blink Dog.
Well, I mean, everyone eats Blink Dog from time to time. I was just telling my mother, we should really go to that restaurant down the street. They're serving a great Blink Dog.
So, yeah, that was fun. Yeah, we'll pick up in 2 weeks.
Okay.
All right.
Is everybody good for 2 weeks? Because I know we're getting close to the holidays then.
Yeah, 2 weeks should be fine.
Yeah, should work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to send out an email sometime in the next week just so that we can kind of discuss holidays as they're getting closer so that we can kind of pay attention to when people's availabilities are in case we need to change anything up.
The 31st, I won't be around in the evening.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't know if this will affect us, but on the 20th of January, I'm going to be out. So probably from the 19th to the 21st of January.
Okay.
Yeah, I might be out that week too, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. We'll just kind of continue to. I'll send out an email so we can kind of get that in writing, so that I can keep on top of it, and we'll adjust things as we need to from there.
All right. To Brendan, yeah, send me whatever you can find on your character.
Yeah,
I think there's already a sheet in Roll20 for your next character.
Oh. All right.
Also, Josh, this affects you because they released the official Eberron book. There were some changes to House Madani, so
Okay.
you're welcome. You're welcome to keep what Solana has, or you can use the new stuff. I'll send that to you.
Okay, that'll be great. Felt kind of bad this thing because so much of it was just me trying to run around through doors and kick things off, and I'm like, don't you other guys want to do anything too?
Well, they weren't as nimbly bimbly.
Well,
Right.
I had to, going into the session, I was trying to make a decision whether Joe was going to, just kind of blatantly ignore what happened last game, which he almost died a couple times, and just blatantly run into shit, or he would actually learn something, maybe, and be cautious. And I decided to go with the cautious route.
Yes.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
near-death experiences, they do that.
Right, that is perfectly sensible, but Sharp is not feeling this new Joe Farr.
What? Joe Farr's no longer running in suicidally, and it's the kid? I still like how I'm suddenly the kid when I had a twin and we're both 17. No, you're kids.
Right. That is one of the things is Sharp does view you as the kid, which is why it was get over there and save her. And then when he wouldn't move, it's like, great, I have to do it. So he has to run all the way around.
Sharp's sole motivation in this world now is to go ahead and save Silhana from everything.
But I mean, with that adrenaline boost that Sharp got, he managed to clear that glass thing with ease.
Yeah, why were we having me do everything? He could have done it.
All right, I will talk
right,
to you guys
guys.
later.
Take care, everyone.
All right.
Peter, when are we on? We on tomorrow, yeah? For the session 0? When's
Thursday.
session 0? Thursday.
So, yeah. I have to be
Oh,
careful.
your
what I say to-
Thursday, my Friday.
Yeah, I have to be
Gotcha.
careful what I say to Brendan because he'll be totally lost.
Yeah.
Yes, it will be Thursday night, which would be your
Our
Friday.
My
Yeah.
Friday. Yeah,
Oh.
gotcha.
That reminds me, Peter, just so you know, I have about 6 different manufacturing companies made